AITA for losing my shit and screaming at my girlfriend to get out of my house after what her stepbrother did? 2 nights ago, my girlfriend came over to my place. We're both 20, and my parents were out visiting some relatives for the weekend, so I figured it'd be a chill evening. She texted me earlier in the day asking if it was okay if her stepbrother came over too. I'd met him maybe twice before at random family things, and he seemed normal enough. I wasn't exactly hyped about it, but I didn't want to seem rude or make it a thing. He'll bring pizza and drinks, she said. That sounded fine to me since I hadn't planned anything special for dinner anyway. I texted her back, cool, just tell him not to bring too much drama with the pizza. Around 7 p.m. she showed up with him. He had a couple of pizzas and a 6-pack of beer. He gave me this overly friendly bro handshake when he walked in, which I ignored. I figured he was trying to make a good impression. My girlfriend was smiling and chatty like usual, and it didn't feel weird or off in any way at first. We set up in the living room. I put on some random action movie as background noise while we ate. The conversation was light, basic small talk. Her stepbrother asked about my job, my parents, the usual stuff. He cracked a couple of jokes which weren't all that funny, but I laughed just to keep things smooth. My girlfriend sat close to me on the couch, occasionally leaning in to add something to the conversation. About 30 minutes in, my little sister came down the stairs for a second. She waved awkwardly when she saw us and took a snack from the kitchen. I introduced her to my girlfriend's stepbrother out of courtesy, but she just said hi quickly and went back to her room. She's shy, and I didn't expect her to hang out anyway. After she went back upstairs, the stepbrother asked, "She doesn't talk much, huh?" She's 15. Teenagers don't love small talk with strangers. I get that. I was the same way at that age. The pizza disappeared fast, and after we opened the beers, the conversation shifted. My girlfriend brought up some family drama she'd been dealing with, something about her mom's work hours and her stepdad being annoyed. I wasn't paying too much attention, honestly. I was more focused on the movie at that point, but I nodded along when she looked my way. Her stepbrother kept adding his 2 cents about how their family is too complicated for their own good. At one point, my girlfriend told him to shut up. He just said, "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking." Maybe 40 minutes later, he asked where the bathroom was. I told him it was down the hall to the left near the staircase. He nodded and got up, leaving his beer on the coffee table. My girlfriend leaned over to grab the remote and started flipping through channels. We were joking about how there's never anything good on TV when I realized he hadn't come back yet. I made a joke about him getting lost, and she laughed but said, "He's probably just on his phone or something. He takes forever in the bathroom at home too." Another 5 minutes passed, and I started to feel a bit annoyed. I wasn't babysitting, but I also didn't want someone wandering around my house unchecked. My parents had reminded me before leaving to keep an eye on things since they'd just had some renovations done upstairs. "Let me check if he fell in," I joked, standing up. My girlfriend said, "Relax, he's probably just zoning out. He's like that." Still, something about it felt off. I told her I'd be right back and headed toward the hallway. The light in the bathroom was off and the door was wide open. I looked around. That's when I heard faint voices coming from upstairs. It wasn't loud, but it was definitely my sister's voice, and it sounded like she was talking to someone. I took the stairs 2 at a time, and by the time I hit the landing, I could hear her saying, "Please just leave." I didn't think twice. I moved straight to her room, and what I saw made my chest tighten. She was standing near the door, her face red with tears streaming down. The stepbrother was standing near her desk, looking shocked like a deer caught off guard. My sister repeated herself, "I told you to get out." "What the hell is going on here?" I said. Both of them turned toward me, but my sister ran past me down the hallway. I turned to the stepbrother, who was trying to say some bullshit about how it wasn't what it looked like. That was the moment everything started to unravel. "It's not what you think," he repeated. I just stared at him, trying to piece together what the hell was going on. "I was just trying to talk to her. She seemed upset," he added. "Why were you in her room in the first place?" I asked. "The bathroom is downstairs." Look, I didn't mean to upset her. I thought..." "You thought what?" "You thought it was okay to walk into a 15-year-old girl's room without knocking?" Before he could say anything else, I heard my sister crying downstairs. My girlfriend came up the stairs behind me and asked, "What's going on? Why is she crying?" "Ask him. He was in her room." "What do you mean in her room? Why would he be in there?" "That's what I'm trying to figure out, but I'm not getting a straight answer." He started saying it was all a misunderstanding, that he didn't mean to scare her. My girlfriend looked at me like she was trying to figure out if I was exaggerating or if this was serious. "I swear," he said, "I just wanted to make sure she was okay. Her door was open and I thought..." "You thought what?" "That it was your job to check on her? She doesn't even know you." At this point, my girlfriend stepped in between us. "Okay, everyone just calm down for a second. Let's figure out what happened before jumping to conclusions." "There's no conclusion to jump to. He was in her room and she was crying. That's all I need to know." "She was crying because she misunderstood me," he said. "I wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to be nice." "Nice? You think closing the door behind you in a teenager's room is being nice? What the hell is wrong with you?" My sister came back up the stairs at that moment, wiping her face. She stopped halfway up when she saw us. I didn't misunderstand anything, she said. You wouldn't leave. I told you to leave, and you didn't. He turned toward her, his hands up like he was trying to explain. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable, okay? I just wanted to talk. You didn't have to freak out. Don't talk to her, I said. She doesn't owe you anything. You had no business being in her room. She left the door open, he argued, like that was some kind of excuse. If she didn't want anyone in there, why was it open? It was open because I didn't think anyone would just walk in. Why would I expect that? My girlfriend tried to break us apart again. Okay, let's all take a breath. This is clearly a misunderstanding. Nobody needs to start shouting. Misunderstanding, I said. How the hell is this a misunderstanding? He walked into her room, shut the door, and wouldn't leave until she forced him out. She didn't force me out, he said. I wanted to leave. I realized she was upset, but then you came. I was upset because you grabbed me. What part of that do you not get? You grabbed her. What is she talking about? My sister hesitated, looking at my girlfriend and then back at me. I tried to get past him to open the door and he grabbed my arm. I pulled away and that's when I got out. My girlfriend stared at her stepbrother and he looked like he was about to say something but stopped. You grabbed her? She asked. No, I mean, I didn't grab her. I was just trying to... He stopped, realizing how bad it sounded. I didn't mean anything by it, okay? I was just trying to stop her from freaking out. She was freaking out because you wouldn't leave, I said. What don't you get about that? My girlfriend looked at him, then at me. I don't understand why this got so out of hand. If it was a misunderstanding, can't we just talk it out? There's nothing to talk about. He was where he wasn't supposed to be and she told him to leave and he didn't. That's it. You're overreacting. My sister turned around and went back downstairs without another word. I wanted to follow her, but I wasn't done with him yet. The way he was standing there, acting like he didn't do anything wrong, was making my blood boil. Get out of my house, I said. What? He said like he couldn't believe it. You heard me? Get the fuck out! Wait, hold on, you're kicking him out just like that? Yeah, just like that, I said. He doesn't belong here. He didn't do anything. He was just trying to explain and now you're throwing him out over something you didn't even see happen. I don't need to see it. I saw my sister crying and I saw him standing in her room. That's all I need to see. Her stepbrother finally spoke up. I didn't hurt her, okay? I was just trying to talk to her and she freaked out for no reason. For no reason? You were in her room with the door closed. She's 15 and you don't even know her. What reason could you possibly have for being there? He looked at my girlfriend like she was supposed to help him. I wasn't trying to upset anyone. I didn't know she'd act like that. She acted like that because you wouldn't leave. You didn't knock. You didn't ask. You just went in. Who does that? You're jumping to conclusions. Maybe she misunderstood what was happening. What is there to misunderstand? She told him to leave. He didn't. That's all I need to know. Her stepbrother took a step toward the door. You're really going to kick me out? After I brought pizza and beer, I was trying to be nice and now you're treating me like some kind of criminal. Nice? You think you deserve a medal for bringing food? You crossed the line the second you walked into her room. My girlfriend stood in front of him now like she was trying to shield him. You can't just kick him out over something that might not even be true, she said. This is your sister's word against his, and you don't even know what actually happened. I don't need proof. I trust my sister. If she says he wouldn't leave, I believe her. What if she's lying? Everything froze for a second. My sister was standing at the bottom of the stairs just out of sight, but she could still hear everything. I looked at my girlfriend like she'd just slapped me. What the hell did you just say? I'm just saying. Kids make things up sometimes. It happens. You think my sister is lying about this? I'm not saying she's lying. I'm saying maybe she misunderstood what was happening. Maybe she overreacted. She didn't misunderstand anything. She told him to leave and he didn't. That's it. That's all that matters. This is ridiculous. I didn't do anything wrong. I shouldn't have to leave because your sister got the wrong idea. Get out. No, my girlfriend said, stepping in front of him again. We're not leaving until we figure this out. There's nothing to figure out. He shouldn't have been in her room, period. My sister spoke up from the stairs. I didn't make anything up. Everyone turned to look at her. She was holding onto the banister, her face red. I told him to leave. He wouldn't. He grabbed my arm when I tried to get to the door. I didn't overreact. I didn't misunderstand. I didn't grab her, he said. I was just trying to calm her down. Don't talk to her, I said. You've done enough. She's twisting this around. I didn't do anything to her. Okay, just stop, my girlfriend said. Let's just all take a second to think about this. There's nothing to think about. He needs to leave, right now. I'm not going anywhere. Yes, you are. I'm not going to say it again. This isn't helping. You're overreacting. Can't we just sit down and talk about it? I don't have anything to talk about. He's out of my house or I'll make him leave. You're a fucking asshole, you know that? And you're a creep. Get out before I do something you'll regret. Come on. Let's just go. This is bullshit. As soon as the door closed behind them, I sat down on the stairs and put my head in my hands. My sister sat next to me, quiet for a moment before saying, "I didn't lie." "I know," I said. "I know you didn't." After they left, the house was quiet except for the sound of my sister sniffling. I sat down at the kitchen table while she leaned against the counter. Neither of us said anything at first. I wanted to ask if she was okay, but it felt like a stupid question. Instead, I just asked her to tell me everything again. She agreed, taking a deep breath before starting. "He came upstairs after you said the bathroom was down the hall," she said. "At first I thought he was lost or something. I wasn't really paying attention. My door was cracked open and I was just on my bed reading a book." She stopped for a second, then continued, "I saw him in the doorway, and I asked if he needed help finding the bathroom. He said no and just kind of stepped in, looking around my room. I asked him what he was doing and he said something like, 'Just checking out the place.' It was weird." "What did he say after that?" "He started asking me random stuff, like what grade I was in and if I had a boyfriend. I thought maybe he was trying to be friendly at first, but it didn't feel right. I told him I was busy, hoping he'd take the hint and leave, but he didn't." She shifted her weight, staring at the floor. "When I told him he needed to go, he just smiled and said, 'Why am I bothering you?' Then he walked over to my desk and picked up one of my notebooks, flipping through it like he had every right to." "What the hell? And you told him to stop?" "Yeah, I told him to put it down and leave. That's when he closed the door." I froze for a second because I didn't think he'd actually do that. I asked him why he closed it and he said, "I just wanted to talk, no big deal." I felt my hands clenching into fists under the table, but I kept quiet, letting her keep going. I got up and told him to open the door, but he moved in front of it like he was blocking me. I didn't know what to do. I kept saying, "Move, let me out," and he just kept saying, "Calm down, I'm not going to hurt you." "He said that?" "Yeah." I tried to go around him, but he grabbed my arm and wouldn't let go at first. I pulled away, and that's when I managed to get the door open. That's when you came upstairs. I sat there replaying everything she'd just said in my head. It was worse than I thought. I had been mad before, but now I felt something boiling under my skin that I couldn't even describe. "Why didn't you scream earlier?" I asked. "I would have come up right away." I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to make it worse, but when he wouldn't let go of my arm, I panicked. This guy. This fucking guy. I should have done more. I should have thrown him out the second I saw him upstairs. "It's not your fault." "You didn't know. If he ever comes near this house again, you tell me. You don't wait. You don't hesitate. You yell. Got it?" The next morning, I woke up to a text from my girlfriend. It started with, "I think we need to talk." I ignored it at first, but she kept messaging, asking why I'd been so quick to kick her stepbrother out and saying I hadn't handled the situation maturely. By the afternoon, she sent another one. "You scared me last night. I didn't think you'd yell like that." I finally responded with, "He was in my sister's room and she was crying. What did you expect me to do?" Her reply came almost instantly. "There was no proof he did anything. You were acting like he was some kind of predator when nothing even happened. You overreacted." I stared at the message, trying to process what she was saying. No proof? Nothing happened? Did she really think this was about needing evidence? I wanted to throw my phone across the room. Instead, I typed back, "You weren't there. You didn't see what I saw or hear what she told me." She didn't respond right away. I left my phone on the table and went back upstairs to check on my sister. She was sitting on her bed with her headphones in, but she took them off when I knocked on the door. "You doing okay?" I asked. "Yeah, are you?" "I don't know, I'm still pissed, but I don't know what else to do right now." "You did what you had to." That night, my girlfriend texted me again saying she wanted to come over and clear the air. I told her no, I didn't want her in the house until she could admit her stepbrother was in the wrong. She didn't like that. "You can't just shut me out like this," she wrote. "We need to talk about it." I typed back, "There's nothing to talk about until you take this seriously. Your stepbrother crossed the line and you're making excuses for him. Until you're ready to own up to that, don't bother." She didn't reply after that. I stayed up late replaying everything that had happened and wondering if I'd done the right thing. My sister's words kept running through my head. "I told him to leave. He wouldn't." I knew I couldn't just let it go no matter how much my girlfriend wanted me to. This wasn't over. Not even close. The next day, I got another text from my girlfriend. It was short this time. "We need to talk. I'm coming over." I didn't reply. I wasn't in the mood to argue, and I didn't want her showing up uninvited. But sure enough, about an hour later, I heard a knock at the door. My sister was upstairs, so I answered it. She stood there, looking like she'd practiced what she was going to say. "We need to sort this out," she said. I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. What's there to sort out? He shouldn't have been in her room. He wouldn't leave when she told him to. It's that simple. You don't even want to hear me out? I've been listening. All you've done is make excuses for him. You're overreacting. He didn't do anything. Nothing happened. He grabbed her. What part of that don't you understand? She told him to leave and he grabbed her arm to stop her from opening the door. He didn't mean anything by it. You're acting like he assaulted her or something. That's not the point. She was scared. He had no business being in her room. What would you have done if it was your sister? I don't know, but I know him and he's not like that. You know him as your stepbrother. You don't know him the way my sister saw him last night. To her, he was just some guy who wouldn't leave her alone. I just don't think he meant any harm. If you're here to defend him, you can leave. So that's it? You're just kicking me out of your life over this? You still don't get it. This isn't about you or me, this is about her. And if you can't even acknowledge what she went through, then yeah, maybe we're done. I didn't think you'd be so willing to throw everything away over one mistake. This isn't about one mistake. This is about trust. I trust my sister. I trust what she told me. And if you can't respect that, then what's the point? Fine, if that's how you feel. That's how I feel. She turned and walked back to her car without another word. I watched her drive off, then went back inside. My sister was sitting on the couch pretending to watch TV. Is she gone? She asked. Yeah. That night, I thought about everything again. About how easily my girlfriend had dismissed my sister's story. About how she kept defending her stepbrother like his intentions were all that mattered. I thought about how my sister had looked when she told me what happened, and I knew I'd made the right call. I haven't heard from my girlfriend since. Part of me misses her, but the bigger part of me knows I couldn't have kept going with someone who wouldn't take my sister seriously. My sister seems better now, but I know it's going to take time for her to feel completely safe in her own home again. I've told her over and over that she did the right thing by speaking up and that I'll always have her back. Maybe I handled things wrong. Maybe I should have stayed calm, but honestly, I don't regret kicking them out. If protecting my sister means losing my girlfriend, then so be it. Some things are more important. Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.